Good morning. In today's video, I will be taking Indian goddess of art, ancient Buddhist art style and motif, Franklin Booth illustration style and liners from American comic artists and mix them into making a new kind of artwork. So, let's begin. Whoa, I got 4 hands. Now here is the rough sketch work I have already made to do my experiment on. The reason why I generally do not videograph my sketch work is because I brainstorm a lot during sketches, try lots of poses, compositions, and it requires erase and restart for a couple of time. Moreover, because sketching is like a brainstorming for me, so although it is interesting and engaging for myself, I have seen that it hardly looks good when videographed because of the messy process and repeated reworks. Sometimes it also happens where I start sketching for one art and then after 20 to 30 minutes, I find myself doing entirely another art. Moreover, my brainstorming also gets affected when I know that the process is or will be watched by someone else, like on YouTube. It's like the thing when in exam hall the invigilator looms over you and you make a mess of even the easiest answer you know. I think it's kind of pressure to perform, so for the time being I think it will be good if I record only after I get a basic framework of my idea on paper or here on tablet. Here I am trying to reimage Lady Saraswati, the Indian goddess of art, as a radiant lady deep in her meditation, floating over a huge lotus leaf in a river with something like a sun or flower in the back. In case of drawing the posture, apparel and possibly the background, I am going to loosely follow the ancient Buddhist style. I mean, not only the art style plus also the clothing and the sitting style with simple monk-like clothings, lotus flower motifs, the lack of ornaments and adornments and such. Meaning, on the whole, there is a simplistic and minimalist approach in this artwork. The goddess is generally depicted with 4 arms, sitting on a lotus with sometimes a swan or a peacock as her mount. I am keeping the 4 arms physique here, holding a single lotus, and I think the whole simplistic approach will look better with white swan or swans. Here I am using 2 swans in both sides, kind of mirroring. I'm trying to apply the Franklin Booth illustration style with the hair and the clothes of the goddess for the depth and shadows and also loosely to show the hair strands. I looked a number of artworks done in Franklin Booth illustration style, including his own works, and I got hugely invested and interested to try this out. Now, Franklin Booth was a great American artist known for his detailed pen and ink illustrations. His style is an unique style of drawing composed of thousands and thousands of lines whose careful positioning next to one another produced variations in density and shade. I have tried to do that also. Now, if in case of traditional artwork, these styles requires lots of pens and back paint. It is little easier in digital though, as I don't have to crouch on my paper for hours and destroy my eyes with drawing lines after lines. Before beginning this artwork, I did some work with this style and experimenting it with my own art style, on my visions. Here is one of them. In this art style, in some cases, bolder line is used side by side to normal lines to make the shadow more distinguishable. But I am trying to achieve the same result with only normal lines and its spacing. For all of my line arts, I prefer to use vector layers. This is because it is easier to make corrections with lines in case of a vector layer, like making the lines bold or narrow, easily erasing lines as per my need, such as erasing up to intersections and such, changing the directions and other aspects of lines. These save so much time and energy when drawing a line art. As you can see, the outermost lines or the lines that are making the contours are bold. This is something I have learned from the American comic book line arts while watching them. and here I am also applying that, and this goes pretty hand to hand with the all over the Franklin Booth style, where lines are using to depict the shadows. As you can see here, outer lines or contour lines are bolder and inner lines are kind of thinner, and the shadow lines are far thinner, which is making the depths and differences in light and shadow. Now, I am not a traditional art student per se. I had art lessons as a child, but as I grew up, serious art courses appeared to be a luxury for a middle class family like mine. So, in the later years, my dose of art is mostly from comic arts, superhero cartoons, and video game arts. I was fascinated by all those splash arts, beautiful line arts, and such. I am heavily influenced by the legendary artist Frank Cho. I follow his artworks, especially the line arts, the comic book covers he does in through various social media such as Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. His black and white line arts with a little bit of bright colors, especially red, in very specific places or objects are really a marvel to look at. I am also putting some specific colors in this picture, like in lips of the goddess, on the lotus on her lap, and also on the beaks of the swan. I find that using of these specific colors in a black and white artwork really makes these things pop, and it's pretty soothing, pretty interesting for the viewers too. I am also greatly inspired by D&D and video game commission artists thanks to the online gaming and D&D communities, especially on Reddit, Facebook and such. Now, speaking of commission artists, I think it's time for some self promotion. We also do commission artworks, and you can find the link of our portfolio in the description, which has all the information like prices, time, terms of service, and some artwork samples too. Feel free to check out, and if our work intrigues you, we would love to work together. We also have some prints and merchandises with our arts in print and Redbubble. You can check those links too, all in our card profile. Coming back to Frank Cho again, I was captivated by his works on Sherlock Holmes in Franklin Booth illustration style. And to be honest, I came to know about Franklin Booth's style while looking at his art. It may sound ignorant, but it is the truth. As I said, I am not a student of art, and in this corner of the world, internet plays the biggest role in case of learning for people like me who are still trying to maintain their hobbies. And works of Frank Cho are more accessible than that of Franklin Booth for a novice hobby artist like me. Now, lotus plays a vital role as an icon in Buddhist art and also Indian art, especially when it associates with the gods and goddesses. In case of expressing divinity, usually a halo or intricate geometric patterns are generally used based on cultures and traditions. Here I am making a lotus flower motif with thin lines constructing a simple but closely knit pattern following the petal structure of the flower. This is to further support the fine lines of the clothes and hair of the goddess to make it more expressive. The symmetric ruler tool plays a vital role here. Now, beside the main flower here, I am also putting two more flowers in the both upper corners to take up the negative space there, so that it does not look very empty, and also putting some more seeds to cover up the center of the flowers. And with this, our main artwork is almost at its end. What left is just checking whether some problems, some mistakes I have done, I am going to change them accordingly. And I am also thinking about giving it some background, because although it's tend to be black and white art, but I am a sucker for colors, and I think some color would be nice to have. So I am making a little bit of background. For the background, I am doing a blue base with white flowing lines representing the fluidity and continuousness of art. Now, Goddess Saraswati is also revered as the deity of knowledge. As both knowledge and art are ever flourishing and improving, she is also associated with the fluidity and more specifically the flow of rivers. In this context, I remember a famous line of Franklin Booth himself. I think a knowledge of art is not a thing held in trust by any, but is rather universal and comes to them who hunger and thirst after it. I think this also expresses the fluidity of art, which expands when it is continuously moving, reaching to people. It is like a river that touches not only big metropolis like Franklin Booth or Frank Cho, but also tiny hamlets or even inhabited lands like us. That is the beauty of art. And here's the final outcome of my experiment. Goddess of art, meditating in a simplistic Buddhist monk attire, detailed with Franklin Booth lines and Frank Cho's mix of black lines with vibrant objects, and with my own blue flowing background. Hope you like it. Please be with us because we will bring more videos of our continuous pursuit of art. Right now it takes some time because I tend to invest all my free time in making art and usually forget to spare some for my videos, but I am still learning. Thank you. See you soon.